What's up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at Russo Lifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. All right, what's up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Here with Nate. Nate, my chest is horrendous.
Makes two of us.
It's so bad. So I'm gonna have Nate walk me through an ectomorph style chest workout. Worst body part by far, you know, my legs are like 5 times ahead of my chest. And I am just gonna be the minion. He is gonna explain his philosophy. I'm gonna have the music in, and you guys are gonna hear from his mouth as he makes fun of me going through this workout. So, I mean, that was one of your weak points, and
yep.
You got a pro card. So,
I think
this is the guy.
Yeah, the important thing is find the person that had a weak part like you. Don't ask a guy that had a strength. They're not gonna be able to help you.
Yeah, my best friend had gorilla tits and he just bench pressed.
They can do one thing.
I try that, nothing happens.
It's not gonna work, right? Yeah, don't ask me for shoulder help. That's my strength, don't ask. It won't help you, so. Yeah.
So we're at Powerhouse Pittsburgh. There's a bunch of custom machines here. A lot of hammer strength, arsenal strength, and a unique chest fly we're gonna
I'm a
be
big
doing.
fan, yeah. You'll see that on the video. Yeah, it's great.
All right, let's get started.
Just so you know, when I'm doing these, I kind of envision bringing my palms together. I physically can't.
Are you tucking your thumb or no?
I do it around. But again, it's like for me, if I feel it in my chest, I envision in my mind like trying to bring my palms together. But you literally can't twist. That's how I get my chest engaged.
Oh, you can have these around. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're trying to almost like...
Yeah, like the little nuance at the end.
So this is our first warm-up. My personal preference is starting with whatever the weakness is for the day. So our chest, weaker on the inside and the upper part. So long story short, the very first exercise, I like to start very light, get that blood flowing into the muscle, make sure everything's working well, and pyramid up. So the first exercise, we're gonna do a handful of sets, but most of these are warm-ups, just to make sure everything's working well. And again, starting with a weakness, finishing with a strength while you have the most energy. Start with whatever thing you're not good at. So on leg day, start with calves, not squats.
Now, are you a fan of like controlling the negative like a spring and then hard contract?
I probably keep them around the same. Just slow though.
So you're more like a normal tempo like this?
That's where I feel the contraction of that.
Yeah.
Pyramiding up until we get to our heavy sets. I'm saying I don't have a prescribed number of sets to use. I go until I feel like my contraction starts to fade or my strength starts to fade. That's probably the end of this specific exercise. So it's not like you're just gonna do 4 sets on this, for example. It's just going up until the point where you start to lose the connection to your muscle. That's whenever you know you've had enough. Like this is probably 60% for me. And then we'll know at the top sets when he's had enough. Again, just warming up, making sure everything's working. Prevent injury. I don't jump right into heavy sets right away. It's working up, working into them.
Yeah, this is
Getting there?
I really want to try that shit out.
We're gonna do that one next.
Nate, for your chest, are you ever into like pre-exhausting your triceps before the workout so your chest takes over? Or any of that goofy shit?
I don't personally know. I just try to do specific exercises that I know engages my chest only, not my triceps. If I was doing barbell, I feel that in my delts and my triceps, so I just avoid the things that I don't get great chest engagement. I don't pre-exhaust. I specifically choose things that work for me. Like this, it's a machine, it's not a barbell, and you know, it works for Big Randy, it works for me, so I just like this, how it feels, and the engagement I get in my upper chest.
What tempo should I focus on?
I'd say like a 2 or 3 negative, 2 or 3 positive. Not egregiously slow, like 4 or 5 seconds.
So explain how important tempo is with advanced bodybuilding, because people probably don't understand it.
So my opinion is like that's time under tension. So you have different ways to manipulate hypertrophy or muscle damage. One would be the amount of weight lifted, which at some point you do run the risk of injury whenever you're pushing very heavy weight, right? Squatting, etc. The other way to create muscle damage is time under tension. That's the amount of time it takes you to move the weight, right? So if you slow down the rep range, increase your time under tension, you can create the same amount of muscle damage without the risk, without as heavy a weight. We're still lifting as heavy as we can, just reducing risk of injury. So that's how you get longevity in the game, is by training like this and training smart. versus training kind of like unhinged and wild like a branch worn. That's not my style.
This is a very bodybuilder centric workout. Like, let's say someone's more starting out, like, should they build the strength base and then go into this? Or if you're just about the muscle, are you just going into this?
My opinion is I think I waste a lot of time doing what you're supposed to do, right? The big three, squat, deadlift, barbell bench. The problem with me is I didn't get the engagement in the muscles I wanted specifically from those. So my personal opinion is I do think I was spinning my wheels doing those exercises for a long time. You can still build a lot of strength to this, but it's just not a powerlifting movement. And we're not powerlifters, right? If you want strength, that is the way to go if you're an athlete or something like that. But you're trying to create hypertrophy, I think this is the best way to do it. And specifically, what do you get engagement and how this works for me. This might not be your favorite piece of equipment. I just know this is what engages my upper chest the best in this gym. I try to stay in the rep range. So everyone will say do a full range of motion, right? I try to stay in the full range where I feel contraction in the muscle. That's how I know if it's deep enough for me. Right? So it's not locking out at the top. It's not going too far backwards where it's creating a shoulder impingement. It's the happy medium between the two. Fun thing is, then you're gonna move to that, it's gonna be real hard. It's basically targeting your upper chest as well. So you're not gonna be able to use as heavy a weight, but the engagement's awesome. When I'm doing this, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing with like my core, but I basically try to like suck my stomach in, keep my chest high the whole time, because I think that helps with engagement. So I keep my chest up. Tuck my core in. It's a big area, keep your chest up, your rib cage up. So there's no momentum going into the reps whenever you keep your chest up like that. So it's all chest. I'll probably call it quits on that. I'm gonna do one more, then we'll switch over. It's like when I feel like I start hitting my stride, then again I like to finish with a power movement at the end, which will be another press. So it's gonna get tricky now because you lost some of your strength for your stability, which is nice for this machine because you can't really hurt yourself, but it's pretty cool. So upper inner chest. It's kind of a great hybrid between dumbbells, where I think you lose tension at the top, and cables. It's a great hybrid between the two. I love it. It's the same story. Big chest. Great contraction at the end.
So like,
I'm shorter than you, so I have to stand up a little bit. Feel it in your mid chest or upper chest? Okay. Good then.
whoa,
Great, right?
this thing's insane.
I've never seen these. Big fan of it though. And it's still getting some new growth for me because I'm sore like every chest day because of it. It's pretty cool. That's what I mean, like not just sticking with what everybody says, and like dumbbell flies or whatever. Try different stuff, see what works for you, see where you get the best engagement from. This works really well. Thanks, man. Yeah, no problem. I think the important thing too is not to go too far back where it's just putting stress on your shoulder. You need the tension the entire time on your chest. So Russo's doing a good job of not going too far backwards where it takes tension off the shoulder. Like I said, like I just do these 4 exercises. That's it. I was telling Russo earlier that the old days, because my chest wasn't that great, I did 3 presses, 3 flies, 4 sets, 20 sets total. My chest didn't grow. I had to figure out how to get my chest to grow, and really less is more. Great intensity, good contractions. Eat, sleep, repeat. You can see his chest contracting. You can see that it's actually working to contract the chest. generally keep my rest less than 60 seconds, unless I'm doing like legs or something. So I keep my rest pretty short and keep moving basically. That's what works for me. Not hit, but no long rest.
Now.
No phone, no IG.
Now are you good?
Just keep trucking. This. You save a little bit?
I did. I know this is gonna suck. I'll try 1 to 25 first.
20 and 25?
Where do you want me grabbing on this? Like
I
tucking there?
go, like, for me, here, but you're a little broader than me, so you might be a little wider. It's wherever you're comfortable with it. You don't feel anything in your elbows. For me, I'm like right here. But also, I feel like I have to slide a little bit further down than you'd think to get the right weight.
I think I could probably put like a 10 on. To hit
Yeah,
that
it
rep.
gets a little heavy. So I feel like the same story on all these. It's like keeping your chest up, I think, keeps the engagement. So for me, it's like here. Again, like I suck my stomach in, keep my chest up, so my upper body's not moving. Engage my chest.
So like exaggerate the arch even more for me?
What's that?
Exaggerate the arch even more?
I wouldn't say exaggerate. Like for me, this is just like tight for me, so I have like a little bit of an arch. I will do flat back sometimes, but for me, it's like I just try to suck my stomach in, have a decent foundation to keep my rib cage up, my chest locked in basically. I don't want to feel like any movement in the bottom half. You know what I mean? That's why I keep my my core tight so that your chest stays stable. Perfect. Let's stay on the weight. You know what I mean though? Like the difference? Keeping your core tight so you don't get any momentum from your lower half. No shame in going down, man. At the end of the day, you want the contraction.
Exactly. I did 10 to 5. Yeah, I'd rather just do it right.
This is gonna be third, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll help you do 4 sets on the last one, 4 reps. My thought too is like, regardless of weight, I feel like you should be able to control the weight and be able to make it work for you, regardless of what the weight is. So like, I think that's a sign of good muscle control, is if you can feel engagement regardless of the weight, you know what I mean? So you don't necessarily need super heavy weight if you're training somebody. You should still get the contraction.
So I've been training on Alek style, which is super high volume. This was low volume, high intensity. And yeah, my chest is trash on my last set. And on the high volume, like he's like having me fail out at the beginning and then like kind of feels like I can't really collect my grounds later on in the workout. Where here,
You're getting
it's like I
momentum.
build up.
Yeah.
This is the max effort and I'm super fatigued.
Obviously that's my style, a little different. Building up like a crescendo and then final all out at the end to finish it off. This! Smoke show.
All right, when they beat my ass, hopefully, you know, I could do his style and then beat the old man like 5 weeks later. So that's the goal.
I'm praying for you.
One day, like 5 years from now.
It's your turn, man. Turn the baton over. It's your turn. I'm retired. There are 200 people, and they're doing like 6 exercises for quads or something like that. You shouldn't be able to do that. If you're using the right intensity, that should not be possible. So to me, it's a matter of just going through the motions. The intensity's not there. And I don't think you get growth from just doing like a volume workout. That's just my belief. I believe in the Dorian Yates style.
Yes.
He basically works to one working set to failure. He went from like a small guy to the best in the world. So work for him. That's how I feel too.
I will be definitely switching over for this style of training on chest and probably legs I'll keep back high volume.
This will be something to understand too. My training doesn't really change from off season to diet phase. The only difference is I just can't handle as much weight. And I don't purposely reduce that. It's just the nature of like you get a little weaker whenever you lose 20 pounds. So the only thing that changes, my intensity stays the same, is the poundage will come down, but maybe like 85-90%, right? So I still keep my strength up pretty high. Instead of 4 sets, I might go to 3, but I'm still doing the same, close to the same amount of weight through the entire prep. Lifting as heavy as I possibly can to try to make my body keep its tissue. That's my opinion. You have to force it to want to keep the tissue, and volume's not it. It's high intensity, heavy weight to force your body to keep all the tissue.
How would your back day go? So, like, chest my weak point. I obviously agree with doing this style of training over what Alek has me doing, in my opinion. But for back, like, I built my base with my back on high volume.
I personally train the same style, I just do more sets. Chest is a smaller muscle group, so we did 4 exercises today. On back, I do 2 pulls, 2 rows, and pull over and something for my lower back. And I changed my grip basically for each thing. So like I wouldn't do the same movement, I changed my hand positioning, so I'm hitting a different angle. So again, 2 rows, 2 pulls, pull over, and something for my lower back. So the volume is higher, 6 exercises, but it's the same intensity. Your back can handle a little bit more than that. It is technically higher volume, but it's the same style. Your chest can't handle 6 exercises, not my opinion. Back can, so that's how I do it. If you're newer and just getting started, I wouldn't do 6 exercises. You can't handle that. I'd probably do 4. I'd do a pull down, a row, pull over, and lower back. When you're more advanced.
When he says 4 exercises, it's like the intensity we were going at. Like when I would get to set 3 or 4, you saw me like fatiguing.
So in the beginning, if you're new, I do like 4 exercises, a little bit more advanced, then I go to 6 on back. But it's the same style. So I lift still as heavy as I can, 3 to 4 sets per exercise, but 6 total exercises for back. It's a bigger muscle group, they can handle it. Legs, same deal. I do 2 quads, 2 calves, 2 hams, something for my glutes. So same story, they can handle more. I personally do 1 leg day a week, not 2, 1 back day. That's how I do it. So if it's a bigger muscle group, I will do more exercises because I think I can handle it. Arms, 3. 4 buys, 3 for triceps, maybe 2.
Oh, I want to do your arm day then. What to do an arm day? Because
Volume on the leg. That's my thought on that. It depends on the muscle group.
I think it's funny, like Nate, this is like old school training. Like he's referencing Dorian. Nowadays you see extreme high volume. So like I don't even consider the volume I do on my current program extreme. You have dudes pushing even higher volume than that.
I don't know how you grow.
And you have an open pro card doing 4 sets, really good intensity, and I'm fucking dead at the end of this. And it was only like, what, 45, 50 minute total workout?
You just keep humming. That's obviously what worked for me. Everybody's a little bit different. I think in ecto, like you have to train this way. Some people genetically can get away with the other workouts. I'm not one of them. So unless you're one of the genetic freaks, they can get away with volume. I'm not one of them. Yeah.
I have no idea how to pose. You've been cringing watching me do the stupid posing videos for some time. Time to actually learn how to pose. We're gonna be doing the side chest today because Nate's a fan of not teaching me all the poses at once, so I forget all the cues, and he's just like, why am I wasting my time here?
Focus on one at a time. You're far enough out. You want me to strip down and show you like actually?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you can see everything, all the cues and stuff. I'll get naked for you guys.
So like when you do the side chest, you can only hit your good side, right? Or do you have to hit both sides?
All right, so long story short, whenever you're getting into this pose, the setup's important. So you gotta start with your feet and work up to the top. So work on your foundation first, right? So you're gonna step back, you slowly drag this leg up. You're trying to push the rear leg against your hamstring to get it to pop out. If you don't do that, it's smaller, right? You drag it, it's like pushing your arm against your bicep to make it look bigger. You're dragging this forward leg, you're pushing this back leg against it to bring your hamstring out. So you're spiking your left foot to get your calf out. I'm pushing in on this leg here and pushing this way, this back leg. Really, it's an illusion like we talked about.
So you're keeping your hip dead on, you're tilting your hip.
It's straight ahead, judges would be over here, and I'm basically pinching my legs together from the side. So you should be able to then bring out all the definition of your leg. If you don't do it, it's gonna look smaller, no definition. So, again, drag it up. You place this foot at the instep of the back foot, squeeze them together. So foundation first. You gotta squeeze your glute, make sure, you're doing classics, so you won't really see that, but squeeze your glute nonetheless. So this is all being squeezed together, spike your calf, then you focus on the upper side. You wanna scoop the chest a little bit, your back arm. You can either do, grab your wrist, or your hand. The big thing is you don't want space here. You want to create illusion that you have size, so it's either here, keep it so there's no gap, or here, depending on your size, right? So depending on your shape, you scoop it, and you want these shoulders to be in line, right? You don't want one up here, hiking it up. Scoop the chest to make it look big. Kind of bring it up front like this. And while you're doing this, you're kind of rotating back. It's not an ab shot.
Shoulder coming up or staying neutral coming back?
It's gonna be like here. So it's gonna come around like this. And then this is gonna be me squeezing my bicep. It's not an oblique shot, it's a power shot. So you do wanna keep your chest up, like we were practicing on the whole lift. Chest up, squeeze your legs.
So this shoulder's just staying. It's
Yeah, you
not
want it to
going
be,
forward.
as in backwards there. You have to rotate forward a little bit
Okay.
so they can see all your chest because they're gonna be right here. If you're here, they can't see your chest. So you do have to rotate your torso,
Okay.
right? So your shoulder is gonna come around. But
What is your preference on me picking, grabbing this?
Depends on the person. Yeah, so depends on the gap, right? So like that's what I was describing is, if your chest is big enough, you can be here. But there's a gap, you see this. Otherwise, come here. So it depends on how you look. Step back.
So I step back
And drag that knee
and then to here,
a little bit more forward. Yeah.
and I'm sitting.
On that, and you're pushing this leg against this hamstring. You can pop out here. Yeah.
And I'm squeezing glutes too.
Yep.
Now here's where I get confused on the upper move.
Get your calf up a little bit more. Yeah.
So I come here. So I scoop here,
Yep.
and then I'm grabbing.
Yeah, but I'd say twist more in your torso. Yeah. Just come up a little bit. Don't hike your shoulder. Just bring it up a little bit.
And then am I tensing this pec and relaxing the close one?
I-
Like what should my cues be once I'm in this shot?
I scoop here.
Like are you thinking like tense this, relax this?
I'm tensing this one more than I am the back one. The back one's just being scooped. I'm not trying to flex this one. It's already being pushed out, you know what I mean? So I don't really have to flex that one. It's really flexing my arm and this pec up here. Front. So this one back here is just kind of chilling. And then I'm using this pressure here to allow my pec to come out and my bicep to come out. So this one, I'm not really flexing. It's just pumped. So it's just scooping it, just like that. So, just the front. Then you gotta turn a little bit your torso, so hips straight. You gotta turn your torso so they can see almost the full part of your chest. Drag it. Do it one more time. I want to see you like actually drag here, your knee up against it. Like,
Let me take these shoes off.
that's probably annoying, but foundation first.
No, I agree.
So again, it's like, I want to see you like actually drag that leg across. Cause you're like, bring it here.
Uh-huh.
I see you drag it up from the back.
Like that?
Do it one more time. Step back. I want to see your knee graze here. Yes, there you go. Swipe.
Scoop.
And then you rotate your torso. Yeah. I'd probably bring this hand a little higher. So for you, I'd say your hand position's good.
Should I rotate more or just here?
Rotate more, but not your hips. As in you got, yeah. It's painful, because you got to really twist, but keep your hips straight forward and bring a little air up in. Yeah, there. It's really hard because you got to like really twist. It's painful.
Yeah.
Again, you got to remember.
Like for those who are not posing, like it does not feel natural to go like that.
Be like this and then twist all the way over here while trying to pose. It's
More in pulling with your back a little
Yeah.
than moving your hip. Like I'm feeling my lat pull me more into place.
Mine's like lower back. I feel like it's twisted.
Yes.
Every pose is awkward, feels awful. So if it feels weird, you're probably doing it right. If it feels comfortable, you're probably not doing it right.